So this process that you've created as part of your policy writing, once you develop that process, you need to be proud of it. You need to publish it and let everybody know that it exists. And not only that it's there, but what it means and what it actually is. This can't be a secret. So that's a really important step. And it's not just this general, you have people who play different roles in your process, and they need to be educated on their role. So that includes those who are implementing the process. So the investigators, obviously, because they are the ones using it every single day, they will become the most familiar with the policy and the process. And really, if you want someone to go out and train everyone else, the investigator is a good choice because they know it so intimately. They'll be able to answer questions because they've seen the situation. But I'm not talking about just investigators, managers. What do they do with their employees when there's an investigation going on? The person who reviews appeals, they need to understand the process. They need to understand that what happened before they got the appeal. The person or persons who decide discipline, same thing. They need to understand everything that's happened. They need to know where they fit in the puzzle, where they fit in the process, and they don't stand by themselves. They can't just learn their part. They have to learn the entire process so they understand what it is they're doing. They understand their role, and they understand what they're looking at when they get one of the investigators' final reports in the case file. They need to understand what happened to make that case file, to create that report. So you have to train those people. And by doing that, you're showing all of your employees that you're dedicated to this process you've created, because you are acting on it. You are not just publishing it. You're going out and talking about it. You're going out and saying, this is how we do it. And we are committing ourselves to following this process. And that commitment is shown through action. Once you have this process, you have to follow it. You have to follow it. If you ignore it, if you change it, if you just loosely use it as maybe a guideline, then it's useless. You are not getting any of the benefits or protection of that process. It's like building columns to a building without building the building. You have this process that holds up your whole program, and if you don't use it, it's pointless. You are going to have cases that have extra interest, that have maybe a bizarre twist, something new, something different. And you're going to look at your policy, you're going to look at your process, and you're going to say, yeah, it would be easier if we could just do it this way. Just this one time, we'll make an exception. You can't do that. An exception is a rationalized violation of the policy. When you create an exception, you are violating your own policy. Am I saying there's never, ever a time when you might make an exception? No, there could be, but it needs to be a very special, extreme circumstance, because you are violating your own policy when you do so, and you have to be able to defend that decision. Can you sit in a court of law and tell a judge why you violated your policy and justify your reasoning? So just don't do it. If your process is solid in the first place, you shouldn't need to. It should be adaptable to any situation. The second thing that people are sometimes tempted to do is to give special treatment to someone based on their position. And if you're a company, this could be your president or CEO or your founder. This could be a top performer. You don't want to lose this person because they are so valuable to your company. If you are a school, this could be the star quarterback. This is someone that you believe is so important to your organization that you can't lose him or her. But think of it this way: does the organization depend on that person, or is that person who they are because of the organization? What's the point of protecting them if at the end of the day you end up losing the entire business? Your process is only strong if it applies to everyone equally. Now, you may have someone that you can't lose because of their knowledge or their skills. You can look at that during the disciplinary phase. That's when you look and say, okay, what can we do to appropriately take action on what this person did, but not lose our business in the meantime? That's where you worry about that, not in the process itself. And that disciplinary decision making is part of your process. So in doing that, you're actually following your process. And when you treat everyone the same, you're showing everyone, not just your employees, but your customers as well, that you believe in and you trust your process. That you aren't reacting. You are not, every situation is not an emergency, something brand new that you're trying to figure out every time something happens. You give them a sense of security because you know what you're doing, because you do it the same every time.